Hey y'all, it's Indigo here, back at you with another video. Hopefully by now you've watched my Grand Arena Championships round 3, the finals video where I went up against Bladebacca, and you saw how he schooled me in efficiency. Well, he and I have shared some information, and he was kind enough to send me his video clips of most of the matches. He recorded as he went, so I'm going to go kind of down the list here in the zones and show you the clips that he sent me and what he used to take out my teams so that you can see what I sent for defenses and then what he was able to use to take those out as efficiently as he did, because 2471 is a huge efficient score, one that I know I can't reach, but he did an excellent job with that. So let's get into it, and we'll start off at the top with the Geos and tell you about his team there. Okay, so for my Geos, he brought in his Treya and Scion only. He's got Relic 7 on both Treya and Scion. Treya is modded mostly for protection. Crit avoidance arrow on her, and then Scion is all health mods, health primaries, with a crit avoidance arrow on him. Relic 7, he's got like 100k health and 60k protection. So they're just, in his own words, they just tickle Scion. There's nothing they can do. And you see how he makes short work. It's about 30 seconds in, and he's already taken my Geos out like nothing. So there you go, 2 of them, and he got 53 for that. Alright, next up is my Grievous team with Magna and Droidica, and he took in his Rex, his Arc, and his 5s. And just using his clones, he's able to make quick work of my team here. Magna and Droidica are only gear 12, so not too tanky. Grievous, of course, is Relic 7, but he's got high relics on his clones. I mean, obviously he's prepping for his General Skywalker, so they're in good shape. And you can see that they're taking the AoEs, and they're still standing. Rex is down a little bit, but with the supporting cast that he has, he's able to just make quick work without burning, a top meta counter. That's why he's able to put what he put on defense and still have enough firepower to get through. And he only did get 50 banners there, but again, he saved a lot of good firepower for the next zone. Now, as I mentioned before, he wasn't able to record every battle, but he did tell me that for the Newt team, which I have Newt, B2, and B1 there, he used his General Skywalker, which is 6 stars, and then his Ahsoka and his Echo, and that was able to take out the Newt team pretty easily. So with that, he was able to then get to the back and see what I had back there, and then budget the rest of his teams accordingly. So that was the front south zone. We'll go ahead and take a look at the back south zone and go through the 4 teams back there. Okay, in the back, you see up top I've got an EP with Bastilla Fallen and Sith Empire Trooper. Look familiar? And then a Dooku team. Got Django in there. Got Malik with that. Then I have a Hux team with just First Order Stormtrooper and a First Order Officer. And then I've got my clones with Rex lead. So I thought that was a decently tough back zone that he might drop a battle on. Well, we'll go through his battles and you'll see exactly what he used to get through them so efficiently. Okay, so this team may look familiar. I had to face one like it on his side, and I didn't have any luck taking it out, but he used Bastilla as lead with Shakti and then GK as a tank. So this seems to be obviously a much better team. Shakti's got that Dispel on basic, which is huge for getting rid of the taunt. And then you can see the main difference between what he's doing and what I did is also he went right after EP. Since he's the squishiest one, take him out. Then you don't have to deal with the shocks and the stuns from him. And now he's just got Trooper in there and Bastilla Fallen. And look, he keeps her ability blocked with regular Jedi Bastilla's basic, just ability block her, and then she can't get the fear. He tried to get a stun off on her and didn't have luck, but called her to assist with Shock T. So that's huge, and that's something that I didn't think of, that GK has the dog pile, Shock T calls an assist, and you can call Jedi Bastilla and get the ability blocks and keep her from ever running fear in the first place. So definitely something to think about, good information for me to have to plan my defense and offense strategies in the future. You can see that he took them both out, and now it's just Trooper there, and that's no threat at all. It's just a matter of time. And meanwhile, he can heal back up with Shock T and get decent banners, whereas I ended up dropping my battle. So good to know. I got 54 banners there. On to the next thing. Next up is my Dooku team. I really had high hopes for this team, and I had hoped that he also would burn his CLS on a General Grievous up front. I know he liked to do that. I didn't anticipate him using clones against Grievous, and so I thought he'd have more of a struggle with this team. Unfortunately for me, he just took in CLS, Han, and Chewie, and he made quick work of my Relic 7 Dooku. And then you can see he can't really touch Jango, so he's going after Malik. The counterattacks and all that, going toward Jango, doing nothing at the moment, but they sure will. So look at that, he took him out with just a shot from Han right there, got his first death. And here he goes trying to take him out now for, keeps. And that's it. Han fires back, he's gone. Now it's just Malik. And they're not really struggling or anything with that. They're making quick work of my Malik, and that's a Relic 7 Malik there. But again, his team is stacked to take out Relic 7 General Skywalker team, so he's not really having trouble. He has to deal with getting feared, and that's one drawback, I would guess, but that's it. I mean, he's doing plenty of damage. He's got the stun, the control, being able to take away turn meter. So ideally, it's great that he saved this, great for him that he saved this team. But yeah, it takes a minute, but he's definitely getting Malik down, not struggling at all like I hoped he would. Next up is my General Hux team with First Order Officer and Stormtrooper, and apparently he had no trouble with this one as well. I think he said he had a Relic 4 nest. And we talked about that, when I told him how I used my nest. And he said, yeah, it's probably well worth getting her up to 7. And I think the same way after how I used my nest to solo his BH team. And he's using his nest to solo my Hux FO team. So you can see that he took out Hux. Even though Hux is gear 12, he's only like 3-star, And the Zeta doesn't really affect Nest because all her damage is done on counterattacks. So this team really doesn't put up any kind of a fight. He's able to knock it out for 55 banners. Alright, this is the second one he wasn't able to record. This was my clones, Rex-led clones. And he took in Padme and JKA and C-3PO. And he made quick work of them. You can see that there's 4 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock, and it's down to just Rex, and he's knocking on death's door. You can see that he was able to get 51 banners from that matchup, so not too bad with the Padme team. Okay, so that wraps up the bottom 2 zones. Let me show you what's in that top front zone, the north zone, and we'll take a look at the squads that I had and that he used there. Alright, up top, I had a Clone Wars Chewie lead with Mission and Zalbar. I had a DACA-led Night Sister team with Mother Talzin and Spirit. I had a Bosk Bounty Hunter team with Boba, and then L3 in there as a pre-taunt. And then I had an Asajj team with Zombie and Acolyte. So, to take out the tank team, looks like you just use a standard JTR team, JTR, BB-8, and R2, and it's unfortunate because most of us have plenty of tanks lying around, and in 3v3, you try to throw some tanks or pre-taunts in there. And it's unfortunate because some teams just don't have enough damage output or mechanics like stun and daze to be able to overcome. And so if your opponent has something simple like JTR resistance, they can just power through this team with the assists and with the locked healing immunity and turn meter manipulation, and it's no threat to them at all. And so a team that I thought, would be decent got Zetas on Mission and Zalbar, and the Clone Wars Chewie lead giving out extra defense and all that. And it really amounts to be nothing against a top player that knows what they're doing. They know how to handle this team. And this is also a team that you can pretty much solo with just Nest, a high relic Nest. But as it stands, he used JTR here, and you can see that it was no trouble at all. He got 54 banners. The next team is one of my Night Sister teams, and you see that he went ahead and used Crew with Fox and Watt, and that's pretty standard so far that a lot of us have been using that have decent first order. You want to go ahead and throw the tank tech on Crew. That way he'll keep taunting and regaining protection. And then you throw the weapons tech on Fox, and you just let him go to town. As soon as he kills somebody, they're not going to come back. Whether it's, from MT's special or lead or from zombie, it just doesn't happen. And you can do this team as long as Acolyte's not on there. It gets a little bit risky once Acolyte's there. But I don't have that, so he went ahead and just used this and was able to take him out without much trouble. And there's enough healing and even protection regen that you can finish with 54 banners if you time it right. And so he did, and that's what he got. Okay, this is probably one of the more interesting teams that he used. It's Thrawn lead with Nihilus and then Shore Trooper. If you remember how you saw the Geo battle way back at the beginning, and he just used Traya and Scion, and he didn't take Nihilus in there, well then here's why. Because you can go with a Thrawn lead, use Nihilus, and then you got Shore in there just as a taunt and help with the healing. And then you just drain cooldowns and wait for Nihilus's Annihilate to come through. He annihilated Bosk right there. You've got control by using Thrawn's Fracture. And then you also have that maneuver ability where you'll get a lot of turn meter for basically skipping your turn. Get 50% turn meter. So your turn will come back around pretty quick. And that's a good way to be able to keep throwing turn meter and protection towards whoever needs it. Being able to top off your team and also throw extra turns toward Nihilus when convenient. And you can get that next Annihilate up. And so after Bosk is out, then the only one that has damage potential is Boba. And he's just gear 12. I don't have gear 13 and relics or anything on him. So he's got plenty of time on the clock. And he's got L3 and Boba left to deal with. And he's just, kind of biding his time. He did another Drain Force there. And he's just waiting for Annihilate to come back up. There he goes and annihilates Boba. And now it's just L3. He's healing up. He's got Fracture. So you put L3 on timeout. And then it's just a matter of grinding her down. Again, while you're topping off protection and healing everybody up. So it's a great way to get 54 banners against what I thought was a decent bounty hunter team. Alright, so the last team up is Night Sisters. And we've got my Night Sisters, which is Asajj, Acolyte, and Zombie, against his Night Sisters, which is MT lead with Spirit and Asajj. So pretty powerful team. Nothing, too fancy or outside the box. It's just Night Sisters on Night Sisters. But when you have a player-controlled team of Night Sisters versus an AI-controlled team, and they've got comparable gear, relics, what have you, the player's going to win. Because the AI just doesn't know the nuances, if you will, of how to play these teams. And so Bladebacca obviously knows what he's doing, so he's going to be able to use his Night Sisters effectively to take mine out. And although he doesn't have Daka on here, he's got the revive mechanic from MT lead, not to mention her special, and then that plague is just going to wipe things out. Meanwhile, he's calling a spirit to assist from the grave, and that's a lot of extra heavy damage when he can get it. And so he's working on Asajj, he gets trapped behind Zombie's taunt. That AoE plague really does a number on everybody. You can see that my Asajj healed and still has plague out there. And now he's got a shot on Asajj to finish her off, which he does. And once she's gone, it's just Zombie and Acolyte. And this team, unfortunately for me, does have AoE in the form of Mother Talzin's Plague. So that's going to be the end of that. And they got also Asajj when she does her second special, which knocked out Acolyte. That's the end of that. He was able to pick up 51 banners for that match. And so that was the end of my ground troops. And I didn't even ask about ships because, like I said before, I just put some junk down on there. So I'm sure he got, 60 some odd banners on that. And so that's it. Now you know how he scored so high against my defenses. Hope these videos are helpful. Shout out to my buddy Mikayas. He runs a modding service. He'll go through, make sure you got the right squad compositions and the right mods on the right characters. Give your account a real nice tune-up. I'll put the link to his Discord in my description. Go ahead and check him out. Tell him Indigo sent you. Thanks for watching my video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share your comments down below, and hopefully you'll check out my other videos on my channel. Peace.